Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this, my second channel, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with all the Flat Earth Debate pre-show and after-show goodness. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a PayPal and crypto link in the info box below this video. Now, we will start the live hangouts soon, but we're obviously in the in-between stages between the live shows. So while I'm setting up for that live show that goes out on Nathan Oakley, I'll hand you over to the hangout as they are chit-chatting away quite happily as we speak.
I don't know how he can do it. Keep talking without, probably he probably got headphones, and when he want to talk, he just taking the headphones off, and he don't hear nobody. He just hear himself. No. He just talks and talks and talks.
No, he doesn't need that. I have similar properties, and I have shown it by just keeping on. I think I'm better at it, right? I don't keep on talking necessarily non-stop.
You do. Sometimes you do.
Thanks. Well, I try not to, but once you do that, you switch into like a thinking mode, and then the talking becomes secondary. And especially if you do the same process over and over again, the talking just becomes fully automated. So he just doesn't listen. He turns off listening, sticks to his head, and just his only focus is to just lay out that image that he's woven. His spell, as it were, his total explanation with all the obfuscations integrated into it, just that image. That is his goal, to put it out there like a tape recorder, and every time it gets cut off, he just replays it until he gets it done, and then everybody is completely confused. That's his task. But it's interesting to see what he's fabricating, because that shows you what he understands, what he knows.
You hear the trend?
Don't do it, Jose.
Get off the track, man. Get off the track.
You've got too much to live for.
Yeah, right?
You've got too much to live for, Jose.
I'm sitting in my Porsche and I hear the train.
You sitting in your Porsche?
Yeah, in my house.
Oh, Porsche.
I thought he said Porsche. Yeah. I'm sat in my 911 Turbo, just revving the engine.
That's what I thought he was on about.
I'm just sitting on the two-step waiting to burn this train off.
Yeah, in the middle of the night, I'm trying to, the middle of the day, trying to fall asleep, and then, freaking train going by.
Anybody saw my first hangout?
Didn't catch the early birds, I'm afraid, Arwin, sorry.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal and crypto link in the info box below this video. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with all the Flat Earth Debate goodness. Now we are joined by The Plain Truth, Sleeping Warrior, Jose, Chocolate Saiyan, and Arwin. Good to have you all.
Good afternoon.
Yo, yo.
Morning.
Let's rattle through housekeeping, Nathan.
I was going to say, we didn't do it on the last show, so any signs of curvature, gentlemen?
No.
Nope.
No.
Diffraction-induced obstruction.
Any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety? Oh, Ranty's not here.
No.
Nope. Only
No?
the ether-based variety and the
Negative.
globe of the heavens.
You say so. Any
Indeed.
evidence of gravity?
Nope.
Nope. Just an
Nope.
aberration.
What about evidence that you can have a gas pressure without a container?
Yes, Slice Arcane, that's aimed at you. How do you have a gas pressure without a container, dude?
Conspiracy Cats tried and failed, so it's a no.
Yeah, all you morons need to address this. It's not acceptable that you just bury your heads in the sand. There is a valid question on the table. You morons have got to come up with some evidence to support your bullshit story that we have something called gravity, and that evidence for gravity is absolutely essential. That we have this gas pressure that we all experience and all breathe daily. Because without that gravity, you guys can't have no gas pressure. Even if you can prove your gravity, right? You've got to prove it because it's conditional on having this atmosphere that you guys claim. So where's your proof for gravity? Where's your proof for atmosphere? Come on, morons.
Well,
we've
you
definitely
can create pressure without a container. It's called an explosion.
Yeah, it lasts for a microsecond and then it's gone.
Exactly. Because of entropy.
So how do you have a gas pressure without a container, morons?
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, if you're going to call gravity your explanation, how does the bending of space-time fit into this discussion about gas pressure? It doesn't work at all. I mean, you could argue that the bending of space-time might account for some of the refractive arguments, possibly if you're going to twist the meaning of words into new meanings. But how does the bending of space-time, how does that work with atmospheres and gas pressure without a container?
So to be concise, how does the bending of space-time maintain gas pressure without a container?
You said I wasn't concise.
So how does the bending of space-time maintain gas pressure without a container, globeheads?
Yeah, morons. You idiots.
Let him hail Einstein, man.
So any evidence that you can have a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
No.
This question tickles me. No.
Oh, and by the way, conspiracy cats, you were talking about P waves and S waves, and Thrive didn't know what you were referring to, didn't understand it. I'll put it into context for you. The seismology predictions, when they dug the deepest hole currently known to man, which was only about 8 miles, at the Kohler super deep borehole, they made 4 predictions based on seismology. The same P wave and S wave technology that you're claiming proves sphere, and guess what? All 4 turned out to be wrong. So, about that centre of the Earth, how does the P wave and the S wave work when it turns out to be completely and utterly unreliable?
Talking of the centre of the Earth, any evidence of the R value, Earth radius? R, gentlemen?
No.
R.
No.
No? Anybody? Anybody at all?
The final chant.
We must still assume it if we are dealing with globeheads.
Well, we are.
Any evidence of Soundly anywhere? I haven't heard of him.
You simmer down there, Soundly Slayer.
I keep checking my private messages to see if he want to send me something, but no, not a word.
Yeah.
Scary angles. That's what it is. Right, that concludes housekeeping. Nice to have rattled our way through it quite quickly.
So, about that evidence, ballers. Come on. Gravity, bending of space-time, atmospheres. How does that correlate together on your nonsense, bullshit, crazy-ass explanation for how you can have a gas pressure without a container?
It doesn't. I can represent that argument very well.
No, you can't. Shut up.
Hold on. Go ahead, Darwin.
Oh, you were going to allow him to argue for them, are we?
Yeah, man. If they don't want to come in, right, all they can have is the best representation they're going to get is Arwin, who's on our side, trying to represent their argument.
Here's the compromise. What we'll allow you to do, Arwin, is instead of applying it to real-world concepts, apply it to Santa's sleigh, and then you can be as crazy as you want. That's fine.
That's bollocks. You can do whatever you like, Arwin.
I already did that, Riley.
So, Arwin, how does Santa's sleigh work?
Electrostatic propulsion.
No, you were meant to be put in the context of the bending of space-time.
Well, that kind of is.
Okay.
This is.
Run us through
I'm going to shut up altogether now that this is actually working. I can't believe my ears.
Go on, I would explain it.
Well, it bends space at least. Time, not really. Although, yeah, it does. The space bending is consistent. The time stays linear. Electrostatics.
By the way, as a flat earther, right? If you've not seen the film that's just come on Netflix now called The Christmas Chronicles with I can't remember who's in it, but look it up. Christmas Chronicles. It's only just come on.
Russell.
It's absolutely brilliant if you're a flat earther. Look at all the
Kurt Russell you're talking about, right?
how fantastic they make you believe that Santa, a concept, can actually really exist. Now, just cross-reference that to the possibility that the International Space Station might not even exist. And then all of a sudden, you've got a load of adults that now believe in Santa the same way that they believe in the International Space Station. So check it out. The Christmas Chronicles, just on Netflix now. It's excellent.
Hold on, are you saying Santa isn't real?
Do you know what? I would rather, honestly, ISS is Santa for kids, right? Santa for adults.
Hey,
Believe in Santa after
can
what?
we get back to the argument? I did as you said. So let's talk about how gravity is supposed to keep that gas on the ball.
I thought you were talking.
can't.
Hold on, no, that's outrageous. I thought you were talking about how Santa's sleigh keeps in flight. Now,
I did.
Yeah, you're not going to argue the
no,
argument for them.
you've done a
Come on.
rumpus there. You've changed the goalposts and made it seem like you were arguing for gas pressure next to a vacuum, when in fact you were arguing for Santa's sleigh and have now just misrepresented that position. I know
That
what
is
you're
a
trying to do,
total straw man.
Do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I'm stupid? You're not going to get this past me.
This is awesome.
What? That's a total straw man, dude. That's hilarious. That's fine.
Yeah.
No, but what I wanted to say was that gravity, as it is supposed to function, even with the bending of space-time, that's only like the science fiction causal relation for it, basically. But the actual effect is basically a steady force disequilibrium that over distance should decrease. Well, if that was present, if you would emulate that in an emulator, and you would allow gas pressure and its functionalities also in there, yeah, it would push back against the air. Indeed, that would do that. But at the same time, it would be opposing the vacuum of space, where over distance the gravity becomes less.
How would it do that?
And entropy is incredibly powerful.
It'd need a force to push back, wouldn't it?
But we're presupposing that there is right now.
Oh, right.
We're presupposing their gravity model.
Well, I'm not
right?
sure.
Yeah, so we presuppose that works, even if it's a ball and all that stuff. Yeah, in their model.
We're gonna get sniped again. Same guy.
It's all right.
I got him.
Yay! Woo! Flat Earth 1, Globe Tard 0.
Yeah.
Well,
But
actually, no.
hold on, really
with
quick.
the force
The three of- hold on,
disequilibrium
Ari.
present as it is supposed to be, yeah, that can't hold even in that model, in that presuppositional model, it can't hold the gas, because gas needing to expand into thinner territory, into the vacuum of space, is so much stronger that what the end result will be really quickly is an atmosphere of however much room there is versus gas out there in the universe, supposed universe. It's going to spread out into a very thin air layer, and yeah, there may be you might end up with a slightly thicker atmosphere as the outer space, which wouldn't be much of an outer space, on planets that have a little gravity or a lot of gravity. But it would be, the gradient would go into outer space, and it would not be as extreme as it is right now. Because there is a container, and the gradient, it spaces out, the gradient should space out in accordance to the totality of the container space. So if the container space would be outer space, then the gradient would be extremely slow and gradual to scale up to the total container of outer space. And that's not what we see on Earth. So that is, according to all the presuppositions, all the angles, even then, it doesn't work.
Oh, you know when you asked in the break whether or not you were a bit anything like Rumpus with regards to like hogging the mic, that was your demonstration.
Hey, I needed to put it out there.
I have no idea what you've just said, Arwin. I'll be honest.
Well, listen back carefully another time when you're ready.
That's a bit more polite than saying you just don't understand, which would have been the rumpus
Yeah,
response.
you're just a moron. An utter moron.
I'm all right admitting that I didn't understand a
You
word.
just don't understand the math. No, but trust me. They have. Oh.
Hey Daniel, how you doing?
Hey Nathan, pretty good, thank you.
Any evidence for curvature, Daniel?
For curvature? No, I mean, like, every time Ranty goes through his photos, like, there's this one photo that we were working on, in particular, the Haitian power station. And I thought that was a great example because it was pretty clear to see that, you know, the mountain in the distance should be dropping off, and it doesn't. He's not here today, but I was going to ask him a couple things about it, so if he jumps on.
Whose video are you talking about?
Ranty.
It's actually just a photo that Ranty took of a power station. And,
Oh, yeah.
We just went through. I think he brought it up in one of the shows, but yeah. Like when you look at this picture in the background, you can see a large mountain that's like 600 meters tall, and then the power station in the foreground is about 100 meters tall. But when you calculate the angular size between the two, the mountain in the back should be about double this angular size, and there should be it actually should be hidden behind the horizon, but you can clearly see the whole thing's there, you know. So, but that was a good photo. I think I need a better copy of it. Is the main thing. So that was a good photo.
Hello, is it Malapu? How do you say that?
Hello.
How do you say your name?
Hello, Mopoy.
Mopoy, good to have you.
Yeah. Sorry, what?
This sounds like Planner Walk.
Yeah, but it's not very obvious that there's curvature anywhere when you look outside or go on an airplane or do anything. So I don't know how the argument for you know, the Earth being a ball is still like, I just think that you know, like Rumpus, people like him are
dishonest.
Yeah,
It's just denial. They just denied their fraction.
I don't think he's stupid. I think he's deliberately here to deceive. He's not stupid. He knows that this stuff that he's arguing is nonsense, but he pushes it anyway.
Yeah, well, even when he was talking to us about something, and he was saying, you know, in order to calculate the distance to the sun, you have to assume the radius of the Earth. And I mean, if you don't, then there's a totally different result for your calculation. So I mean, how are you going to go and start doing something with just assuming you're on a ball to begin with? It just doesn't make any sense to me that you would do that. You would have to be so certain that everything is a ball, like it's round first, before you start to figure out how far away the things in the sky are.
You have to know that the things in the sky are actually tangible objects as well, capable of being measured.
Well, they do, surprisingly,
right.
with arcs, with the angle. Good enough for the sky, but down on the ground here, when you're trying to claim that obstruction at the horizon is Earth curve, then ultimately you go to a begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking curve calculator and put everything in a side elevation and call everything its actual heights. 10-foot wall, still a 10-foot wall, right? Don't account for the angles, except with the stars. And then you assert that they're a certain size. after you've accounted for the angle. So it's like they do one thing for the stars, and then seemingly that all just gets forgotten about. It seems really crazy that we should be talking about the angles right now, right? Yeah, if we were looking up at the stars, they'd be telling us all about the angles and then asserting how big they are in feet and inches, right?
Yeah, that's what they do. That's how they work out how far away the stars are. They calculate their angular size and the brightness, and that's how they tell them that they're 400 million miles away. It's garbage.
So they understand these principles, they just don't apply shit to the ground, right? But down on the ground, we can put it in an orthographic representation and call it all in feet and inches, never ever look at the angular size of anything. Why would we do that? Well, to deceive the world about what their world is. It's flat, it's not a globe. But if you want to call perspective curvature, well, I'm just going to call you a retard.
Yeah. Embarrassing to be on your side, guys.
Yeah, I think if someone can, there's one small like technical thing, like when you're looking at things in the distance and you're looking at the angular size of things as, you know, it reduces as they get further away. But some people can't realize that when you're looking, you can actually be looking slightly down at objects that are larger, which is, I think it's been proven here like a bunch of times, where if something is far enough away, you can actually be looking down at it, which I think there's like Miles Davis has videos contradicting that.
Who?
Miles Davis, he has this video.
That's his name. Get his name right.
What's his name?
Miles the Liar Davis.
Miles the Liar Davis, you know, he has this video of these like couple blocks, and obviously he's just lined it up so the tops of the blocks stay the same no matter how far away he moves one. Whereas when you look at things in real life, there's a vanishing point, and if the vanishing point is you know, at your eye level, and then there's an object in the back that's getting smaller because the angular size reduction, then you possibly could be looking down at something. But I mean, if someone doesn't understand that to begin with, I don't know how you're going to get into like the bigger picture of things, you know?
Hey, Zinder.
Hello.
Yeah, I think this is something that Zinder and I were talking about before, and he's the one that brought up Miles the Liar Davis video with the blocks. So, but we were slightly disagreed at this point, where you know you can actually be looking down at things that are bigger in the distance. So,
I think yesterday we talked a little about it, right?
Yesterday, I think I was on for a bit yesterday, right at the end.
Or the day before, I don't remember. Maybe.
Yeah.
Zinder, what was it you were saying that stops you from being on our side of the fence? It was something to do with, was it the tangible nature of the sun or something of that nature?
Yeah. My logic doesn't allow to see the sun as a object that isn't tangible. Because
well, what makes you see it as tangible in your logic?
Well, everything I see around is either a tangible object or a result of a tangible object. So, for example, thoughts are a result of a human being that is tangible, or rainbows are the result of the sun and the and the atmospheric condition that come along to form a rainbow.
Wait. Are you going to say that a rainbow is a tangible object?
No, but it is a result of tangible things in my mind. In your mind, it is because...
Sorry to interrupt, Cinder. There's a misunderstanding about the word you're using here, clearly. Do you know what tangible means?
Like, you can touch it. You can... right? Tangible.
Well,
one definition of it.
You can touch smell, touch, taste. You know, your fart example.
Yeah.
You can smell that, right? Well, that would make it tangible.
Yeah, those are tangible.
Right. The sun, on the other hand, how is the sun tangible?
Well, so you guys think it isn't, right?
No,
I think it is.
I don't think it isn't. But maybe are you on a PC or on a phone at the moment, Cinder?
On the PC right now.
Can you just? I'm not. This isn't like a gotcha, but just bring up the definition of tangible and just see what it says.
Yeah, alright. It's
you have to
you
be
can
able
touch
to
it.
touch it.
You can feel it. I mean, now I have the German word here too. So yeah, it's pretty much what I thought it is.
To touch, right?
Yeah, to touch, to feel, to like take, right? To kind of interact with it.
Right. So by definition, it's not tangible.
The sun.
Well, yeah, you can't go and touch it.
Yeah, I know. I can't go to the sun and touch it.
So by
That's true.
definition, it is intangible. It's not tangible. By definition, it's not that we think it's intangible. It is. That's by definition.
Even if it's a gas, it's tangible.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
there is
who's
where
touching
I
it again?
think
Sorry,
I could,
who's touching it? Are you touching
Physical.
it? Are you Mopai? You're touching it.
It's
Sorry, what?
physical in nature. Gas is physical.
Yeah, you
It's
can
about-
touch it. It is tangible.
So are you
Yeah.
touching the sun, Mopai?
I didn't quite catch that last.
Are you touching it to make it tangible by definition?
No,
So it's not
No.
tangible by definition.
no. You're. I assume you're saying you can't touch it because, well, it's burning, so you'd burn before, right?
No,
No,
No?
I said,
Why?
have
it's
you
because it's
touched
an
it?
optical phenomenon.
I said, have you touched it?
No, never. Of
Oh,
course.
so to you, it's not tangible.
To me, it is.
Oh, so you can touch it? Really? Are we going to go around
Yeah, I
in this
believe-
circle? How
I
long are we
believe
going to go
you
around
can.
in this circle? I tell you what, do the same thing for me, Mopai. Bring up the word tangible on your computer and read it for me, please.
I did it right a second ago. I'll do it again. Right. Tangible, perceptible by touch.
Oh, so can you touch the sun, Mopai, or should we go around in this circle for a few more minutes, embarrassing you?
See, I'm a round earther, a globe.
You couldn't give a
earther.
crap. Can
so
you
you're
touch
going
the
to
sun?
assume that you could.
Arwin,
basically.
can you touch the sun?
No, because I.
So, by definition, as I have said about 4 times with you disagreeing, it is by definition not tangible. Correct?
Because it's like in your reach. for example,
Sorry,
doesn't
do
mean
you want to
it's
read the definition
significant.
again? Because you seem to be changing the definition to meet your ends. Read it again.
Nathan, he's new. Be nice.
Well, no,
Perceptible by
I don't
touch.
care. When someone tells me that something that by definition is not tangible is tangible to them, I will tell them to read the definition where it says that you need to be able to touch it, ask them if they can touch it, and when they say no and then reassert that it is actually tangible, that's when I
Right.
start to jump down their
Right,
throat.
what they're saying is, if you take out the fact that you'd burn before touching it, and you could reach
That's what you assume.
burning gas.
Assume.
touch it.
You're assuming that's what's going to
Would
happen.
you say
Have any human being experienced this? Have anybody never ever in history have touched the sun, have burned because they get too close ever?
I've seen it in movies.
Shut up.
Yeah, but no one's done it in real life
Right.
So,
because nobody is stupid enough to go commit suicide to a jungle.
this
not
isn't
what
a question of
definition means, though,
stupidity.
right?
This is a question of definition. It is intangible by definition. Why aren't you just conceding this?
Sorry, but a burning gas is tangible, right?
Read the
Who
definition
the hell
again.
said it was a burning
That's
gas?
acceptable
I'm
by
sorry.
touch.
Sorry.
Okay,
Who
you
said it was a
touch
burning
that,
gas?
you can feel it.
Excuse me. Who said it's a burning ball of gas?
The globe model.
Like I give a crap what the globe model says about this thing on screen. So just because a model says it's a burning ball of gas, it is. No, dipshit.
No swearing is part of
I'll
the rules,
do what
isn't
I
it?
damn well please. Do you understand?
Right.
Let's lay these rules out like a differumpus. This is my show. I get to decide what the rules are, and if I choose to break my own rules, I will. You, on the other hand, won't. If you break my rules, you get kicked out because it's not your show. So don't tell me not to swear. Just concede that the sun, number one, isn't what a model says it is, and two, is not tangible.
So you're saying it's just light?
It's not tangible. I've said it about 10, is it the 10th time I've said it? By definition, the thing on screen is not tangible.
Light isn't, yeah.
Not light, the sun. It's on screen. You're not touching it. I'm not touching it. Nobody knows what it is. To assert that it's a burning ball of gas is just what your model says it is. You don't know that. You've not touched it.
All right, and what do you assume it is?
I don't care.
It's two separate things.
Don't care. We're trying to get you to concede, as you've asserted it, and still have not conceded, that it is not tangible. Hello, Pow Bear. Pooh Bear. What is it?
Schmidt.
Hello.
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 Smells funny.
2, I'm kicking him.
Someone's kicked him before me. I have. Okay. We're still trying to get you to concede. It's not tangible.
Doesn't mean I cannot touch it.
What's the definition again?
It's intangible.
Sorry, the definition is that you can't touch it, so it meets the definition then, correct? Hello, Warren.
Can I add something here? In
Not
the
until he
definition
concedes. I don't know why Zinder. Why? When he still has not conceded. He's still not conceded. For some reason, this guy is refusing to believe that by definition, the sun is not tangible. He's read out the definition. He's conceded he can't touch it, but he won't concede that the sun is not tangible.
No, I'm not. No, I'm saying I cannot touch it for a different reason. I'm not saying because it's not physically possible. I'm saying because I believe you'd burned before.
How many donuts was it?
6.
Sorry, can you repeat that, please? My pie.
Yeah. Okay. I'm saying I can't touch it, not because it's physically impossible, but because I'd burned before.
And I would
that's
say
a lot of assumptions.
You can't touch flames.
Hold on. That's a lot of
burning.
assumptions. The fact is, by definition, you can't touch it. I don't care why. It doesn't matter. It meets the definition. It's not tangible.
This is the point where you need to concede, dude.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Ranty.
Hello.
I'm saying something that could resist the heat could touch it.
Yeah, it's possible
It's not
that
one of
in
those
future
things.
it might become tangible. Hold on, guys. Don't rumpus me, for God's sake. It may, in future, become tangible, and I couldn't give a crap. Right now, it meets the definition, and you still, probably on about the 12th time of saying it, refuse to concede this. Why? It's a different question. Why are you refusing to concede this very obvious fact that the sun meets the definition of not being tangible?
Why are you just
right, so we're getting sniped to all hell, are we? What gives? Why are we getting sniped? Is it not conforming to the audience's religious belief that the sun is a physical thing? Oh, my bad. Let's snipe the whole show then, while this dick refuses to concede that the sun meets the definition of not being tangible. Yeah, let's snipe the show, because somehow that will make your religious assertion that it's physical real. No. This asshole will probably spend the rest of the show denying that he has got a belief in something being tangible, even though it meets the definition of intangible. Welcome to the show where you don't know. No, you don't know. This should be the work of Butter Moment. Don't get it. You know, you get someone to read the definition of something. What they're describing absolutely meets that definition, but because they've got a religious belief about the thing you're describing, they absolutely cannot, under any circumstances, concede. Doesn't matter if they've just read it. Cognitive dissonance is strong with the audience, with the panel. My bad. Okay, so 20 seconds and the link should go out on Skype. Hopefully there's a few people listening to me on the actual broadcast to know that's a fact. If not, they'll just get a little ping. There it goes. Ping! Master B chat. For all those people on all the Skype chats I'm associated with, my apologies. When I do get sniped, you'll just be inundated with endless hangout links from Flat Earth Debate. It's just part of the game, I'm afraid. Hey, 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 Renty Flat Earth. Wow, big audience. 220 people watching.
And again.
Hey, Jose.
Yeah.
Just in time, I suppose.
Hello.
Hello, Arwen.
I've took a trip up to Nicky Nook again today.
Oh, excellent. Did you get some footage?
Oh, I sure did.
Oh, really? That sounds exciting.
Oh, I did.
This is one of those rare occasions where we have not chatted about this beforehand and I have absolutely no idea what Ranty's about to present, so I'm very excited, I'm not going to lie. Don't normally capture this on the actual show. Let's see it, come on. What you got?
Okay, well, we have the Isle of Man, and we have all these wind turbines. Can you see how level they look?
No, exactly. You've got a complete... Go back a couple of frames. Right there. Yeah, it looks like they're miraging down upon themselves.
Yeah, but the two separate wind banks that I'm looking through, some are further away, some are nearer. These ones, 220 meters tall to the very top. My elevation is 207 meters here. I'm looking over at the Isle of Man. Distance is 76 miles. 76 miles. Sorry?
76 miles? Wow.
76 miles.
How high are you?
207 meters. There should be 1,300 foot of missing curvature here.
Okay. I mean, you're getting the Isle of Man on in the P1. To put this into context, the size that the Isle of Man is in this imagery is about the same size as the Isle of Man at 30 miles on a P900. Would you agree?
Yeah.
P1000 is absolutely badass, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I want to get some
chocolate
color contrast done on this because I know that I can still see it now. So I know I'm seeing further. But I really want to get it sort of like, jazzed up a little bit so we can see everything that's in there. But absolutely sensational. I mean, there's nothing missing on these wind turbines either.
Well, you're higher up, so you've obviously, you're not right next to the surface of the water and limiting your angle severely. You're higher than them, right?
Yep.
Well, you've got a nice wide angle to see them at. There's still going to be the effects right at the bottom, and I can see them. I mean, this camera is still going to have a diffraction limit. Every camera's got it. And right down near the bottom, you can still see those effects. Nowhere near like the effect you see when you're low by the ground, because you normally got it running right through the middle of them. Do you know what I mean? You've got literally half of a wind turbine being a refracted image of itself below itself. Whereas in these, it's just it's a thin layer right at the bottom. But that's because you've got a nice wide angle.
From early analysis, I'm seeing down to around about 300 feet, 350 feet, give or take. There should be 1,300 foot of missing curve if we live on a ball. And we can easily explain away the bottom 300 foot just in that slight mirage layer that you're seeing. But a lot of these mountain ranges you shouldn't see. Like here, this shouldn't be seen. This mountain range shouldn't be seen. That's on the limit of the 1,300 foot. So is this one. That should be gone. And we're seeing them all.
Yeah, got a nice wide angle to it. It's a clear enough day to see 70 miles. You've got a good enough camera to do it. There it is. The Earth is obviously and observably flat. That's a massive... Oh, it looks glorious from this angle. I've said this all along, Ranty. Ah, oh, go higher. It just look glorious. Look at that. Oh, Ranty. Oh, wonky horizon.
This guy, I shouldn't... Well, maybe I should. This guy stopped by me. I'm uploading the video actually now. Here he is. And he stopped me and he said... it's a nice view up here, isn't it? He says, it's flat, isn't it? I said, yeah. He says, it's very flat, isn't it? I said, yeah, it's very flat. And he went, is that the 1000? I said, the P1000. He said, yeah. He said, how long have you known? And I was straight away. I know this. He's a flat earther. So I said, well, I've known for like 2 years. He said, I've known for 4. Apparently he knows, well, he doesn't know Dell, but he watches Dells and he watches, who's the other guy? 100 proofs or whatever, 200 proofs. Eric Dubé. He says he's watched Eric Dubé and then he's watched Dell on the Imaginary Curve. He says he's going to sign up to my channel anyway. So he's going to give me a subscription. But fancy meeting a flat earther up there who knew that simply because I had a P1000 that I was a flat earther. And then he said
footage is incredible, Randy. Footage is incredible.
He said he's got nobody to speak to about it in real world. He says, so you're the first person that I've been able to speak to about it all. But look, thanks, Jose. It's good, isn't it?
Can you go back?
Awesome. When you zoomed out all the way, I was
going to say, can you go back to your wide angle? The wide angle was amazing. You only had it for a few seconds, but if you can maybe pause it on a few of those wide angles. Oh yeah.
It kind of just gives you in a perspective of how beautiful it was to see it. Look at that, and it's nice and level horizon. I'll tell you what though, it wasn't half cold up there. I was absolutely freezing. It was like 2 degrees or something. So it's not really the exact weather for refraction. So they've got some explaining to do if it's 2 or 3 degrees, how we're getting this refraction. Because obviously that's what they're going to come back with and saying, oh, it must be refraction.
Did you go
as to why we was able to see that?
Did you go up to the top and do a full panorama? Did you do a 360 at the top?
I've done loads of footage up there, Nathan. I was up there for 2.5 hours. I was freezing my nads off.
Can we see one of those 360s? Can you dig it out if I take the camera off you for a minute?
Hang on. Let's have a look. See, I might have it on this.
Oh, no. I'm into this. This is Blackpool Tower, right?
Yep.
Cool.
There's Blackpool Tower. And then we come across to the...
big one.
That's the entire pleasure beach. There. All that is the entire pleasure beach in a tiny little space. And beyond that, we're seeing Southport. Just sensational. The amount of the distances that were involved. Some of the mountains over here.
So much land that you are covering right in this top of this little hill over here is crazy.
Let's have a look at the previous one. Let's see what we've got over here. This is 4 minutes. Like I said, I've not even watched these back myself. I only saw it on the little screen as I was filming it. But you could see it when I first got up there. I couldn't see the Isle of Man. It was hidden behind this haze. And even on this video, it's a little bit. Yeah, you know, you can make it out, but it's hidden behind haze.
I can still see it on my screen.
Yeah. So if this is what we're going to get in the winter time, what we're going to get in the summertime?
I think your best pictures will come around now, actually, Ranty, I think.
There's Walney Lighthouse. I've got a load of footage from up there. If you want me to just skip through and just see what I've got. That was quite interesting.
I'm happy just
actually.
watching them as they come off the camera. To be honest, this is ace.
Let's have a look. See, yeah, there's Walney Lighthouse. We come across to Barrow and Furnace in a minute. I might zoom in. You might see Devonshire Dock Hall. Oh, there's the Peel Island. Oh, sorry, Peel Castle. I'll focus again. Let's see what I can get. Yeah, there's Walney Lighthouse again. A lot of these I probably won't release because they just keep going in and out of focus. Skip through. That's a pretty cool one. Seeing the Isle of Man. But they're going to say that this is loomed, Nathan. That's going to be their default. Oh. Barrow Town Hall.
Is all of this footage free-handed? Right?
It is, yeah.
Wow, you're getting better, a lot better, because on a big zoom like that, I shake too much, you know. I still don't have it without a tripod. Look at those. Those are your babies. The one you get a bunch of observations of, huh?
They're the babies, for sure. It's just incredible what you can see up there. It's a bit of a trek. Takes about probably 20-25 minutes to get to the top. And it's as soon as you go sort of like 2/3 of the way up, that's when it starts to get a bit windy. So for the most part, I'm actually sat in like a little cove. Hello?
We're all paying attention. We're all engrossed in your imagery. Don't let the silence deceive you.
Yeah, so I was hiding in a cove. They have a dip just beneath the top, and it was sheltering me from the wind because it was absolutely bitter. I mean, the wind chill was probably making it feel about -3, -4. My hands have only just stopped having the pins and needles in them because it was that cold.
Wow, look at that distance.
That's the top of the hill. And there, oh, hang on, if I pause it, just where that little lad is there, there's a little drop in there. Can you see it? This little drop there. Well, that's where I was filming from. That's where I did most of my filming, because where I'm standing now is exposed at the top of the hill. It was bloody cold. I've got a load of stuff. I've only done about half of the videos onto my PC at the minute. I've got a lot more footage of Blackpool Tower and stuff, so I can perhaps present that tomorrow if you like.
Awesome. Yes, please.
Yeah, no worries. Because I've only got like half of the stuff that I'm just flicking through now. Most of the better stuff's on the later videos. So I just thought I'd quickly get these put on the PC and show you what I caught. But yeah. Isle of Man. Down to about 300 feet. That's a bit of a problem for the ball, is that?
Yeah. We were talking about you behind your back when you weren't here, and we were saying you still want to work within that logical fallacy and say, you know, how many feet and inches should be missing in their orthographic representation when they assume are, and you want to debunk them within the fallacy, which is fine. You know, Anthony was the exact same about 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind playing their game.
Hey, Mo2, how you doing?
Hello.
Oh, right, let me
speak up.
Hello.
You should say hello.
How do?
Okay, thanks.
Right.
Be as difficult as the last conversation with you, like 12 attempts to get you to concede that something you can't touch is by definition intangible.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, I know.
Did you snipe us as well?
What's sniping?
I don't think so, Ranty.
Remove the panelists.
No.
Oh, right, okay.
Didn't do anything.
Hey, Zinda.
Hi again.
So kudos, Ranty. Excellent, excellent imagery. I'm hoping you will, just for me, like as a favour to me, as opposed to something that you want to do forevermore. If you do go back, take a tripod and do a 360 from the top of the hill.
I think I do a 360 when I'm up there. I think I do that.
Can you dig that out? Because your skills of doing it freehand, I don't know if you caught one of the after shows where we were discussing it, because we take the piss out of your horizons, but it's gone a bit far. You know, in reality, your skill at actually holding the camera steady is increasing rapidly, and you are in a position where you can capture things on the fly that you couldn't do on a tripod. Even though that's the case, and you are getting better by the day, you know, and that's brought out by people like Travis and Jose. No offense to either of them, but they're both, you know, all shake is all hell like you were when you first started doing this. But it would be nice if you've got it to show us your 360, and if it's, you know, if it is a bit wonky, then maybe do it on a tripod as well. If you ever go back, that is.
Sure.
Have you got it? Can you dig it out?
Yeah, I've got that much.
I know.
I'll give you an idea. It's taken an hour and 35 minutes to download the rest of this, all this 4K stuff onto my PC. So I've still got an hour and a half yet to go before I can have it to show you.
By tomorrow.
I was just telling my wife about the footage that Ranty took from a really high spot, and I was telling her I'm gonna have to research over here in Texas to see what the highest points are, to see what I can see, because unless I find there's no many tall buildings or tower observations, there's no hills or mountains in here, so I'm in a very, very low position over here.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. There's no great vantage points around me to get, but then again, neither is the for Ranty. I mean, how long does it take you to get to there, Ranty? It's not close, is it?
It only takes about 30 minutes, funnily enough. And the weird thing is, if I wanted to go down to the beach, it takes me 15, 17 minutes through traffic, whereas it takes me half an hour to go to this place and then a 20-minute or 25-minute climb to the top. So I'm not too averse now to actually going down to this place more often, because it's after the full moon, Nathan. Mm-hmm. What did I say? So the full moon, I says, the weather up till then has been crap. We can't see anything. I says, once the full moon's out of the way, trust me, the weather's going to clear up, and boom, go up there, see the Isle of Man, completely different to the last time I went. And it just seems that just after the full moon is the best time to go out and do your photography.
Yeah, it's certainly bearing out. Good images, you know, and hopefully next couple of days you'll do a few more. That said, when you've got like a terabyte already to download or whatever you've got, then it's a case of filtering through what you've got already, right?
I was up there. I had to keep on deleting videos that were already on the card. So spending half my time deleting other videos so I could take more footage when I was up there.
I bet you're chuffed with the results.
Oh, superb! Yeah, I mean, obviously the community got me the camera, so I'm making sure I go out and give them value for money.
Well, maybe you can add a bit more value by. I know Anthony's not here at the moment, but I'm sure he'd be saying, "Well, surely you should poke the bear a little bit."
Slice Arcane cannot debunk the Isle of Man video that I'm about to upload. In fact, it's uploaded. I'm just writing actually the description now. So, Slice Arcane cannot debunk this Isle of Man video from the top of Nicky Nook. Is that good enough?
Yeah, I'm going to title the show "What's Wrong with Slice Arcane." It's just so much stuff he's not failing to debunk.
Can I plug the Early Bird Show for a moment?
Sure you can.
Early Bird Show. Every day, 1 hour before the Flat Earth debates on my channel. Arwin, ARWIJN. Yeah, come and watch. Talk about a lot of stuff, including Flat Earth. Have some of the panelists here on. And we have good talks, morning breakfast talks. So we try not to get too disgusting or too heated. So you can easily drink that coffee or tea and eat your croissant or pancakes without being disturbed and choking on it. So
Sorry
come and
about-
visit
sorry
the
about the
Flat Earth
comment,
Early Bird Show.
Sorry about the conversation of filtering water in dirty socks. Okay, next time.
So, yeah,
That
big
was-
shout out to
That's what I was
Yeah.
talking about. That's what we were talking about in the early bird today.
Oh, we didn't expand on that. Thanks. So
yeah, big shout out to all the early bird crew on Arwin channel. Go check him out. It starts. an
yeah,
hour
we're
before
already
each
at
debate.
episode. What's it again? What's today?
20 or
It's
something?
going so fast. Let me check.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, number 18 was today. So
Well, as we're plugging shows, I'm going to plug my second channel. So after this show finishes, hey, who's just joined? Pete. Hey, P. After the show ends, if you missed the first show, it will replay together with the pre-show after this live stream ends on my second channel. So I'll stick a link in the chat as it flows by, so you can go straight to it. But yeah.
Oh, I've
I'm
been speaking
I'm
to.
not done. Nearly done. I'll plug my own channel. So it also has the after show. So when we finish this live stream, us on the panel will continue to chat away for, I don't know, however long people hang around for, and that gets rebroadcast together with this debate that you're listening to now. Hi, Daniel. On Nathan Oakley channel, which is my second channel, at 4 a.m. UK time, so 0400 GMT on Nathan Oakley channel. So that'll have this and the pre-show that will continue after this live show ends. There you go, Ranty. I've done my full plug for my other channel. You go ahead.
Okay, well, I've been speaking to Richie from Boston. I don't know if you've come across his channel before.
Yeah, I know Richie from Boston is.
Yeah, you know who he is, right? Well, he said he's going to do some plugs for the Flat Earthers this week for us. So hopefully, with the amount of subscribers that he has, he should be able to send some warriors over to us, our side. Seeing as most of them are woke over there anyway.
Ace?
It is Ace. It'd be nice to get a plug from Richie.
Please share the show. In no small way, it's the main thing that gets the show to grow. So I know on a couple of shows ago we were discussing the analytics of YouTube and their promotion of Flat Earth content. Well, I've been well aware of that for a very long time, which is why I say at every show, please share it. Please stick it on Facebook. You know, I said it to Anthony before one of the shows, and he's all aghast at this. I was like, well, do you share the show? He's go, what do you mean, share? I was like, well, do you hit the share button? He says, I don't even know what the share button is. I was like, oh, okay, Anthony. Well, that's a big problem if you're well aware that YouTube aren't promoting the stuff. You know, you've got to promote it yourself. That's how it gets more popular amongst their own community and potentially people outside if you share it. So yeah, big, massive thank you to all the audience who share the show. I am genuinely a grateful person for that fact, because people do. I know people share the show, and I am grateful. Anything you guys want to add before I round out?
No.
Flat Earth Early Bird. Yay.
Oh,
every day.
Check my video out. It'll be uploaded in about 15 minutes.
Where would that
It's going to be easy to find because you're going to title it Slipe Arcane Can't Debunk Isle of Man or something like that, right? You're going to title it?
No, I've titled it already. I've titled it Meeting a Flat Earther on Nicky Nook and the Isle of Man, Wow Flat Earth. That's what I've titled it.
Need to add. Can't be debunked by Slice Arcane.
And it can't be. I'll maybe put him in the tags. I'll maybe tag him in it.
Okay.
There you go.
You guys are liars. Jamie Brown and Belief is a thief. Figured out Flat Earth is a lying cult.
Well, if you take comfort in their words, P, then that's very good for you.
Thank you, Nathan.
Anytime.
I
Everyone's
don't
entitled to their
appreciate
belief.
you lying and manipulating and
You
being
take
an
solace
asshole.
in their account of us being liars, P. If that makes you sleep better, then good for you. Go in peace.
No, I'm saying you're a liar. They figured out that the flat Earth is a lie.
Oh, that's very good for them. Go in peace in Are You Trust Globeheads.
Yeah, and you're dogmatic, and you have beliefs you can't justify, so that's cool.
I can really easy.
Like what?
And do daily.
Like what?
Like, yay, the uniformity of nature.
The uniformity of nature.
Justify that. That's
Okay, while these guys discuss the uniformity of nature, I will say first and foremost a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in, and also a massive thank you to all of you who shared. Massive, massive thanks. If you hated the show, be sure to smash that dislike button, but then smash it again. But if you like the show, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley. I'll see you on the next video, or maybe in the live chat on my second channel, where the first show will be rebroadcast right about now. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
I'm not talking about the scientific method. I'm saying you're denying science.
So that's not the same thing. Is that what you're saying?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Science. The scientific method is not science?
No.
I concur.
Bravo.
I concur with Arwin's applause. But Pisha read it somewhere, so it must be true. Because he's reading.
I saw that.
Did I call you Pisha? Sorry. P-Mars. I just called you Pisha.
You ignorant piece of shit.
AP,
Thank you for the kind words.
I saw that Tim Osman had also taken solace in Belief is a Thief. Are you jumping on the same bandwagon? Oh.
Logan Paul is a flat earther.
Lovely. Can I read you my message to Tim Osman that I left him on his Belief is a Thief shout out video?
Yeah, please.
All of your observations require the presupposition of an R value. If you want to claim the quote-unquote obstruction is actually Earth curve, ... on one axis only, lol. Same goes for the shite you spat about the stars, again using a presupposition of an R value. All of the compression seen in your images can be explained with the angle of view. You seem to describe everything with actual sizes, open brackets, feet and inches, full stop. Clearly, you are slow, and have yet to cotton on that your use of actual sizes excludes perspective. The size we see is measured using angles, not actual sizes. We do not see an actual size. We see relative sizes and angles of view. I look forward to the demolition of your religious viewpoint with this detail. And then I quote Tim Osman, having faulty premises can lead to false conclusions, end quote. The premise that we see in actual size is the presupposition of a fucktard. That would be you, Tim. You use a presupposition of a radius, and you use actual sizes to exclude perspective. This is faulty reasoning. You still want to use the formal logical fallacy known as affirming the consequent. If the Earth is a sphere, P, we will observe star rotation in the southern hemisphere, Q. We do see star rotation, open brackets, above us, lols, close brackets, in the southern hemisphere, Q. Therefore the Earth is a sphere, P. If Q, then P, ... Q, therefore P. Affirming the consequent, Tim. Second time pointing this out to you. Again, fallacy, not good logic, quote-unquote faulty reasoning, or as I put it, being slow, not understanding the points we make. Again, as you are slow, that would be you, Tim. How long will you continue to use this logical fallacy as proof of a globe? It isn't, you utter fucktard. I'd be happy to explain this to you a second time, as you clearly didn't understand the first. Magical things being bent up in refraction. He's referring to conspiracy cats, that's what I'm referring to in the video that I left the comment in. Are you a total fucktard or what? None of the effects you discussed have anything to do with the arbitrary 7/6R, open brackets. See that R again, fucktard? That would be the terrestrial refraction, used by fucktards like you to bend light around the curve you presuppose with R. Lastly, join the show and tell me about the perspective used in Walter Bislin's calculator when he's using actual sizes, open brackets, feet and inches, so I can piss the angle of truth right into your stupid, brain-dead, incredibly slow face. That was my comment to Tim.
Did you feel better after
That's a
that?
retarded comment. You don't even make one salient point in the whole thing.
No, you're right. It's just a load of
you're
waffle
just
and word
spewing a
salad,
bunch of
really.
bullshit. That's not even true.
Not a coherent point in it. I would agree, P. I was just wasting my time with word salad, throwing out presuppositions of R values in my world.
More like banter than word salad.
Not really. More like demolition.
It's not even. It's not an argument.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. There's not even one argument.
It is an argument.
It's an argument.
R is not a presupposition.
Oh, really? You got proof of R, have you? Dick brain.
Yeah.
What an idiot.
Argue about it.
An observation.
An observation of R.
Below R wing.
Yeah.
What is radius?
Observation
P?
is not a presupposition.
What's radius, P? What is radius?
Is that a philosophical question?
No. What is radius?
The geometrical question.
See, this fucktard doesn't even
Fucking
know what fucking
niggers.
radius is. Do you,
Fucking
P-Mars, you
niggers.
utter fuckwit?
Niggers.
Are you
Fucking
stupid?
niggers.
Yeah, that's what you've got to do. Swear. I ask you what radius is, and you don't even fucking know. What an absolute fucking retard. Get out, you stupid
That's
fucking
crazy.
retard. Comes here saying niggers. That's what he's got. After I ask him what radius is, he doesn't even know.
He isn't the sharpest tool.
Thick as two short shites.
That's all they have left is figures, I guess. I don't know. That's what Pete boiled down to, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Mars got triggered.
He's got Tim Osman punting that belief is a thief has debunked us all with a load of literal word salad. I mean, I haven't watched Belief is a Thief's video, but I did watch Tim's with his little excerpt from it. Just pure word salad. It was glorious. That's what all I've got. Nothing but word salad.
I thought Belief as a Thief was a flat earther.
Oh, for about 5 minutes, then he turncoated, like some of these people do. They come out claiming to be a flat earther and then quickly change their position and then suddenly get held up as he used to be a glober. You know, the same rhetoric that people like Alex has got, Cat Earth and a few others. Just this fringe group on a fringe group. Ex-flat earth, anti-flat earthers. It's like this teeny tiny number of people. Belief is a Thief is one of them. Oh, I'm an ex-flat earther, and I now make videos against flat Earth. All right,
Right.
Found your niche,
It's a
have
bit-
you? Good.
Bit of a scam.
It's the Flat Earthers People's Front.
Well, I mean, in the opposite way it works. So ex-globe earthers now make videos about flat Earth. Why can't you believe that he actually really was convinced by the heliocentric arguments again?
Well,
It would be
because he
good to know
presented them,
what
presumably, right?
convinced him. Does he explain it? Or
Somebody accidentally kicked me.
Yeah, because you were saying niggers over and over again, P.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kicked you out.
I'm just answering your question.
What with is it a philosophical question? Have you had time to look up what radius is yet, P?
I know what radius is.
What is it?
It's the radius.
Yeah, what is that?
This is a circle.
Right, radius is a circle.
The radius of a circle.
Yeah, what is it though? What specifically? What is it in relation to the circle?
It's the distance to the center of the circle.
Ah, you did have time to look it up. Excellent. I wonder why you didn't say that the first time and just said nigger about 5 times instead. Interesting.
Fucking niggers.
See? No need. You're not allowed to use that word, P. Only I'm allowed to use that word because I'm black.
Can I use the word autism?
Yeah, you're allowed to use that word because you are.
I told that to a girl, and she said that makes it worse.
No one cares about your fucking dumb love story.
It's just not a nice word.
It's just,
I think,
and I said,
I just want to talk about this for a second, Pete. Because you are white, let's talk about this in very, I was just about to say very black and white terms, but in very a literal context. When you say that word, it's immediately interpreted by anybody black as having venom behind it. And it's going to piss them off. Them being a racist, derogatory way of grouping together all black people, which is in itself racist. But for my example, it's a trigger word for black people. It's going to piss them off, and I assume that's the only reason you do it. In other words, you want to piss black people off.
And white people.
That doesn't piss me off. It just shows me his ignorance. And that's it.
It makes you into a lowlife. Very simple.
Yeah, he is a low life. That's it. But it's alright.
So you're
It
just
doesn't hurt me. It doesn't hurt me in any way, and I guarantee you would say it in my face. So I don't have any problems with it. He can continue making himself look ridiculous.
Did you see D Marble's video about racism?
Yeah, I saw that.
Anybody else?
I did.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
I was quite shocked by what he said, because even though he explained after the fact that the guy was saying it was a joke, so for anybody who's unaware of his rendition of what happened, he goes to his room, he hears something outside while he's working on a video, goes out and jokingly says, keep the noise down, you know, which is a half joke. I might go out and go actually tell him to shut the hell up if I was concentrating, but he went out and half jokingly said, can you keep the noise down? And then they got into a conversation, and the guy basically said words to the effect of, oh, I'm sleeping on this floor, am I? Oh, well, that won't work. I don't sleep on the same floor as you people, or something, words to that effect. And you can imagine being in the Daryl Marble's shoes and like what did you say? And you know, the guy immediately apologized and was like, oh, it's just a joke. And it's like, no, bollocks, those words crossed your lips. They crossed your lips for a reason, you know. And it's because either he wanted to hurt D Marble's feelings, or I don't get the motivation. That's why I was so shocked by it. I just don't understand it. That's why I'm quizzing you, P. I don't. Either you want to hurt people's feelings, or, you know, other than that, I can't see any motivation. I don't understand it.
Yeah, you're not a very deep thinker. But right now there's an agenda to create inequality.
Start
in the name of
your reply
equality.
with like an insult.
I don't mind. Just explain it to me, P. I don't care about the insults. Just go ahead.
There's an agenda right now to create inequality in the name of equality. It's called liberalism, and it's ridiculous.
You just go along with the agenda. Is that how brainwashed you are? You just go along with the agenda. You're mocking it by actually putting it on display. That's how you're mocking it, by using it.
No, it should be fine. It should be perfectly fine for white people to say nigger, to make racist jokes. It shouldn't be a big deal. at all.
You're
depends
missing
on
the
the
point.
context, dude.
Why are you making racist jokes in the first place? That's the point.
Because
your
there's
jokes are not funny.
Because there's a liberal agenda to create inequality in the name
So
of
you're
equality.
spreading the agenda. The big P Mars who always talks about conspiracy this and conspiracy that, and you come in here talking about, oh, there's an agenda, but I'm part of the agenda.
You are against the agenda, right, Pete?
I'm pointing out how ridiculous it is to get upset at someone for using a word or making a joke, and then
What
to sit
you do
there
is not how you show that, Pete.
virtue signal and act like you're morally superior.
But that has nothing to do with this debate.
How that is
and
ridiculous.
you're a hypocrite, and you're the one being a bigot.
Who's being a bigot?
You're not successfully conveying
you
that
are.
message, P, with what you're doing. All you're doing is making yourself look like a complete ass. You're not conveying that message. You need to give some context to it to do that.
Your message is flawed, though, P, because by implication you're saying they're trying to create inequality, and that's like, do you actually think that there is equality between blacks and whites?
Yeah.
Really? Well, then you're deluded.
Yeah.
Right, Pete, let me be the first to tell you that there isn't an equality between blacks and whites. Were you unaware of this absolutely obvious fact?
It's not a fact.
So you genuinely believe that in your country far more than here, that blacks and whites are treated equally? That's what you believe? Really?
For sure they are.
Well, you're wrong. They're not. Blacks and whites are not treated equally. That's why it's the topic of conversation. If it was the case, this wouldn't even be an issue. We wouldn't be discussing it in the first place. I'm struggling to understand that you don't see that. I'm lost for words, P. I really am.
It's brainwashing propaganda from the media. The whole, they've just been race baiting people. It's all bullshit.
It's busying therapy. If you engage in it, you become a part of it. It's a derailed subculture, basically, that was designed as a busy therapy to entangle people and keep them stuck in there.
Pete, can't you agree with me? I mean, I know black people are treated equal to some amount of people. I mean, where I live, I think I would say more than half of the people who live in this country treat black people equal to white people. Yet there are, in terms of jobs and so on, certain companies that treat black people unequal, right? To treat them less as a lesser person. Can't you agree with this fact that there are people?
Yes, that, but I mean, not less of as a. Like, you somehow don't have a soul if you're black. That's going beyond.
Yeah, but
yeah, of course.
But that's just ridiculous philosophy, eugenics nonsense. But seriously, like, racism is part many cultures. So yeah, there is racism around a lot. And in the West, we've become obsessed with it.
Yeah, I mean,
trying to counter it and like be anti-racist. That's like what the popular culture is trying to achieve now for some time, and it's basically reversed racism, where saying, oh well, black people are being suppressed, so all the white people are to blame, and now we're gonna push on the white people and basically help out and worship the black people as much as possible.
Social justice warriors. I mean, I can understand that Pete wants to make fun
but
of
social
them.
justice warriors are just the activists, basically.
Yeah.
Hold on,
Media
You've just been given
and companies are taking on these systems in their policy making and in their algorithms.
You're now doing the same as
what
PR.
you gotta understand.
You're making it sound like there is no equality, and they're trying to stir up inequality amongst the masses. When
Yes.
that's simply not the case. You've just had a direct example from Zinder. He's just said, well, there's certain companies that aren't racially equal and won't employ black people or whatever race. Well, that example isn't isolated. We're on a limited panel, and there's someone on the panel with an example of this. I mean, to me, the inequality is glaring. The fact that both you and P are pitching it like, oh, well, the government's trying to stir inequality. What are you on about? There is just inequality.
It is true, but that doesn't exclude people from, or let's just say from inequality or approaching different races in a different way as being a natural symptom that will arrive in certain people naturally. That happens. It's part of humanity.
We had a black president. How is there inequality?
Well, he was only half black. So what does that mean?
Half? Not even half.
Plenty of black people have high-paying jobs, or they're in Hollywood. Where is this discrimination? Where are these people that aren't getting hired because they're black? I don't see it.
Yeah, that's because it's being countered. They're doing this because that counters all the racism arguments, makes them more popular. And hey, there are a lot of reliable black people and Hispanic people and all of these people out there that are part of America, that really love America and all that. So yeah, it can work. You can actually do that in America because it is a very diverse country. And all these racism accusations, they can be countered this way, and they are being countered this way, and it's still working. So yeah, there are racist groups, but structurally it is becoming one of the least racist government structures maybe in the world, if you think about the details.
What, the US you're saying, or?
But it's not the same for the media, though. The media is just totally insane and brainwashing and constantly agitating on racism as much as they can. The government is responding to this.
The media is pushing this idea that we're all racist. It's not true.
Well, they're aggravating it, and they're whacking it way out of proportion, obviously.
There's a
Turning
small
every
amount
white
of
man into a villain. It's ridiculous.
There's a small amount of ignorant, fanatical people who are racist, but it's a pretty insignificant portion of the population. It doesn't really affect people in the corporate world. If they're racist, they're going to lose their job. There's not racists in the corporate world.
Yeah,
well, there still is, but it is usually the ones that are actually in control, and they pick out people that will actually allow that for their circle. So yeah, there are still, in the most powerful circles, yes, there are racists, definitely. They're very careful. They hide behind a facade.
It wouldn't be open. You can't be openly racist. You'll get fired.
Exactly.
So you're an advocate of doing the racism quietly behind closed doors, then, P, right? As long as it's not overt and open.
If you're racist in your own home and you still hire black people, right? You don't discriminate at work. You still hire black people, but at home, maybe you don't like black people.
But it's all
What's wrong? You're not hurting anyone by doing that. It doesn't matter.
You have racism and you have racism. You know, some white guys may hate certain type of black people, like the real gangster type. They like really fear and hate them. That can be, you know, and these black people, these types will then probably hate them naturally in return. That just manifests itself. But that's like personal, it's frequency based. But it's different from just philosophically saying that all black people are minor humans, or that's real racism. That's like philosophically grounded racism, like eugenics.
That's dehumanizing.
That is the real racism. See? And there's a lot of elitists that kind of prescribe to that. to some of these principles.
Yeah, there's
Also
probably a
because it
deeper
is
part of it all,
convenient
like,
for them. If you can
Arlen.
dehumanize people, then you can use them as pawns in your schemes very easily. So it's a pragmatic choice for them to be like that.
No, I see, like in Asian culture, a lot they seem to be particularly in their own world compared to a lot of other cultures. Not just like black people versus white people. There's all different races out there. So
It's becoming more classist.
yeah, but I tend to believe that. I mean, if you're just, I mean, Anglo-Saxon white people, they just generally, I don't think they're that discriminated. I mean, they don't discriminate that much, except for that's why we're calling you out, Pete, because it's not natural to be like that.
But listen, the discrimination, it is basically just a manifestation or the typical being annoyed by a certain group as a person, that type of phenomena. That is more it's a natural need for humans, and like in Asia, and what is it, Eric Boshane explained this, and he's been there, is that these groups hate each other because they're a different type of Chinese. See, so they still have it, but they just apply it on a level that we don't really understand.
Yeah, well, maybe like
with
I've
us,
heard
the
that
contrast is more
Japanese and
obvious.
Chinese people and Korean people, those three don't really get along so well, and I have no idea why. It's something to do
Sorry?
with their past. Well,
What?
like Korean people and Chinese people really don't get along for some reason. I don't really know why. I
Well,
mean,
they're
if
very
you look
different.
at their countries,
They're different, very different. They're
Korea's got a wall
grounded in
between
different principles and characters. They're
Well, they went
just
to
very
war
different.
with each other.
But
Yeah,
they
I don't
may
know if
look
it's similar
kind
to
of
what
similar,
the-
but they're very different. Different type of culture, different type of people with different expressions.
Like between the two Koreas, you mean?
China used to invade Japan.
Japan
is
invaded China
something
too.
on its own.
I mean, when I was in Japan, I've seen how much they hate the Chinese. It was really crazy, dude. Yet there were also black people, and I think in Japan they are kind of racist towards black people too. How I seen them behave. So I mean, not only white people can be racist, of course. That everyone can be racist towards each other, and I think in Africa, there are certainly also black people who are racist.
Oh
right?
yeah.
So
But towards
other
other tribes,
yeah.
they will be racist, or towards white people, like in South Africa right now.
Wait, Arlen, you can't be racist against your own race. Just to let
But
you know.
it's to them, it's not their own race. It's
That would be
slightly
like,
different.
You're just
That's
saying
the thing.
another tribe going to a different
it's
tribe,
slightly different.
same race. Like, what were you trying to say right then? You have to be careful what
It's
you're.
bigotry and prejudice.
No, but they are. If some type of race is very different and they get a war going, then they will, over time, if they don't patch it up, become racist to the differences.
Well,
Slightly
I guess what
different
we're
shaped
getting
black
at
people.
Is like North and South Korea are the same race of people.
But don't you
and
get
they
it?
hate each other.
Slightly
That's
different
not
shaped
racism.
black people.
No, they're the same race of black people, but they hate each other for different reasons based on religion or some beliefs.
Yeah, so there is people that don't like other people, and whether if I'm white and I don't like this guy that's black, it doesn't mean I'm racist. Sometimes,
You can hate someone for anything. It could be football. It could be about because they're a globe earther and you're a flat earther. It's the same. It's all the same shit. It's just dehumanizing groups of people through your beliefs and whatever you're into.
Yeah, well, I've been called racist a couple of times just by bringing up things that I read that I wanted to talk about, which was, to me, that was sort of a problem, like, where you read on the internet, like, why don't, in some areas, black
Religion
students do
just
better?
structures and capitalizes upon principle.
Yeah, but just for bringing up the subject, I
need
got
for
called
a
racist.
struggle. People, especially intelligent people, or that have at least some level of intelligence, have natural need for a struggle, for something to do, for a challenge. And that's what religion guides and structurizes.
Religion? Oh,
It
and you're
gives
getting
you
off
something
into
to
a
do,
weird
a
topic
mission.
now. I mean,
Cool,
hating someone
but
because they have more testosterone than you is not. That's. I mean, is that what you're talking about?
Sorry?
No, I mean, I just try to look at people that are not racist at all. Like with people that we put in power, it's what we should be looking for, right? People that aren't like that.
I mean, it's alright if the people in power are a little racist as long as they don't use the racism, as long as they treat everyone fairly. I mean, you can't change yourself, yet a bad person that does good things can be considered at the end of their life as a good person, even though if it was a bad person. So
Yeah, there's like bigger issues sometimes, like when you look at, say, joblessness in, you know, the Michigan area where they used to build cars. That's more to do with automation and things like that, where it's nothing to do with people's races or anything. It's just the jobs just disappear for some other reason. But you know,
yeah,
a minority group that got together and made a big issue about it, then it might get looked at that just them can't get hired, when it's not just them, it's like everybody. But it's like the minorities that can pull together really well to make people think that they're being discriminated against sometimes, and that can be an issue, I think.
yeah, they have us hating our fellow humans when we should be hating the robots.
Well, I mean, if the robots can do more of the work, then we just have to find other things to do.
yeah, it's a
You shouldn't
problem.
be hating robots at all. It's no use.
Robots are gonna take our jobs.
Well, they already have in a lot of places.
Yeah, but that
Well,
doesn't necessarily look. They'll make things cheaper, and then it's just look.
They gotta
We
go
don't
back.
technically we with everything that's around. We don't need that. We don't need job-based survival in society. Okay,
Robots
we
should
don't
go back to
actually
their own
need it. We
country.
just need some purposeful life that is just fulfilling. That is really the most important thing, and the more structure there is spawned for this new age to account for this, the better. So there's just a lot of busying therapy because jobs are actually becoming superfluous. You know, if you're not actually doing something useful with your job, then why does it exist? You know,
No,
if
but
the
I mean, there's a
product
lot
you're
of
making is actually useless, then why should the product be made even because it's making jobs? No.
yeah. I mean, there's different jobs now, like engineer jobs, calibrations, and things like that, which is
course.
it suits a very particular type of person, you know,
There
where
will always be engineers.
Yeah,
Computer engineers, programmers, always.
the only jobs in the future are gonna be to build and maintain the robots.
Exactly. That's
Mm.
gonna be the prime concern. Until robots take it over. But
just like Terminator, they start eliminating us.
no. It all depends on the command structure that the whole system is subjected to. That's always going to be the issue. Who commands the robots? And it can't ever be given to a robot. The final call can never be given to an AI itself.
So they don't need us anymore. They're gonna depopulate the peasant class because we're useless to them now.
Some people think that among the elitists, but it's really only a few. You know, most people enjoy their lives. And they even find room for improvement. And with the internet, they discover, like, yeah, not everybody that I run across in the street, they may suck, may be idiots and morons and disgusting. But yeah, there's still a lot of good people, interesting, amusing people, or people that will worship them out there. So they don't want to lose all that. You got to understand that. Despite them being psychopaths, they still have things they like in this world. See? So there's only a few that'll really want to destroy it all. The true religious zealot maniacs. But most people that are in power just revel in the power, and they just like it, and they want to keep it that way. They don't want to destroy it all.
What was the deal with the Berlin Wall? That was to separate Germany from East and West, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why that. When did that happen? Actually, like, was that after World War II? They put that in there.
Yeah, and then they
Because of the communists in from the east, and they worked together at first, but then after Germany fell, they basically went into the Cold War. They didn't really ally; they just allied against Germany. That's all. That's why it was done.
No, I watched this. I'm not sure if you guys have seen Atomic Blonde. It was a really good movie. I thought it was great. I mean, it wasn't really about what the Berlin Wall was, but it was just, I thought the fighting scenes, it was a great story. Check it out if you haven't seen it.
I do want to see Atomic Blonde, but did you guys see First Man?
Oh God, no, not yet. Is it out yet?
Yes. Well, I saw it on Showbox, and it's pretty good comedy, I think.
I've been watching Timeless, this Netflix series, and it is astounding. And I think they maybe have been reading my script that I wrote like a few years ago, because it's very alike.
Give us the highlights, Chocolate, of First Man.
They really just they go into the drama of Neil Armstrong's life and what how he was good at what he did, so that he was the guy chosen to be the first guy to go up. And they sort of kind of try to get into the details of the moon missions, and I mean, I don't know. It was kind of thrown together. I don't know. It's I don't know. Like, I saw it. A lot of it is kind of just like a joke, a movie
it's a
about
spectacle piece.
Yeah, it's a movie about a movie.
It's not a nerd movie.
It's
a spectacle piece.
I mean, it was a well-made movie. Anybody who believes that we went to the moon will take it as a very nice, dramatic piece. And, they made it very dramatic when they were, taking off and, going into space and all that. But they focused a lot more on the astronauts instead of actually what was going on with the rockets and outside. A lot of it was shot from inside the vehicle, like to the outside through the window. You don't see too much of the outside and space.
Yeah, it's for a more personal experience, right?
Yeah,
to the window, to the wall.
There you go. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it was all right for what it was, but it is what it is. It's about
What was the
moon
set like?
landing. So.
What was the moon landing set like?
Yeah. And I mean, did it really? And I mean, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but obviously, like, I mean, when they get to the moon, like, they didn't really show them doing anything. Like, it was the big dramatic, the first step. And then he got on the moon, and they looked around for a little bit, got back in the lab, and took off, and that was it. The next thing, they're back on Earth. It's like, I don't know. It was just like, okay, guys, they tried, but you're not going to find too many real details. I mean, the most detail they went into was when the guy drew on the board a little circle and a
An
few dots
autographic
around
view?
it. Yeah, pretty much. There's little dots around it.
And they
And
loved it, don't they?
it was like, oh, these are the satellites. They showed how America was mad because Russia had put, you know, the satellites and the guy in space. So, you know, of course, America had to do it better. You know, all that dramatic bullshit. And I don't know. It was,
Cool.
I don't know. It was cool, I guess.
The Cold War was bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah, well.
And
they
It
did
was a
focus
military-industrial scam. That's what it
They
was.
did focus on the space race and how, you know, we were trying to do stuff, Russia was trying to do stuff, and then just as soon as America was about to do it, Russia pulled it off, and then we had to go the next step further, and you know, we had to go to the moon, and that's it. They don't go into the flag, like they you barely see them putting the flag on the moon. Like, you don't even see them putting it into the ground. You just see it, like, in the faraway shot before they take off. It's like, there's so much detail that they left out. You know, again, going back to just making it a dramatic piece. So, yeah. But for what it was cool. Ryan Gosling's a pretty good actor. So, he did what he had to do. Anyway, that's my review of that movie.
Thanks.
No problem.
Any thoughts on today's early bird show?
I only caught like the last 10 minutes of it, something like that. Jose was on, right?
Mm-hmm. Just all of the very last few minutes.
So, Zinder, you were saying about the sun being not being tangible. That was your? I was curious about that conversation earlier. If you're there, Zinder.
The sun is totally tangible.
I'm sorry, it was a little far away. So, what's this about the sun, right?
You said that was one of your remaining, I guess, ball. Is your like what is it about the sun?
Yeah, I just couldn't. I just still can't accept the fact that the sun is untangible. Not in terms of I can touch it right now. Yet one definition of tangible is also material. So I would say, for me, the sun has to be material because everything else defies my logic of how things work.
Really?
Yeah. Let's say it has to be material, or it has to be a product of material things like holograms or thoughts. Also,
the daylight is there. The daylight is kind of tangible as far as it goes. You can do things. You can, you can figure out its absence and its presence, basically, and what it does to things. But the sun disk, that thing that we get to see in the sky, we have no sign whatsoever what that is. It seems to be at the epicenter of the daylight direction in relation to the position on the Earth. But that doesn't mean that it is coming from something. It may just be electromagnetically or electrostatically induced to spawn into being from the energy itself. Locally.
So, yeah, look.
And it would spawn locally, and then the disk that we see is only just a side effect, a light-based side effect, like a flare almost of that effect. And the daylight is the actual thing that comes from it, that radiates from it, from that manifestation.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice concept, right? Yet it doesn't really make logical sense to me, and I think it
Why not?
can't be proven, right?
Oh, really? So electricity, you know, if you have electricity and the intensity goes up high enough, there will be sparks.
Yeah.
Where first there were none. And the spark gives off light. So there's your first clue.
Yeah.
Okay. Why can it be like that, but in a very fascinating, controlled manner by design?
Yeah, I'm just asking myself, why should it be that? I mean, you know, for example, then I could also just go with the heliocentric sun, which in itself makes sense too, right?
No, because it requires material as part of the setup.
And what's the
Only
problem with
a
it?
route that does not require it. It only requires energy to be present.
And where is the energy coming
Manifest
from?
in a pattern.
Yeah. Well, where is it coming from? Where does it get its fuel and etc. etc. Right?
From the world.
From the world. Okay.
From the world itself.
Yeah, I mean,
From this realm.
I have to think a little bit about it, because
Where does the static electricity come from? From the world, not just the rubbing static, but just static energy, the energy in the air. Where does it come from? It's there.
It's ions.
Well, where it comes from, I can't. I'm not a physicist, so
we can determine that there is energy there.
Yeah, there's
so
like
if there is energy there, something must be causing it, sure, but we can determine it is there. And if there is energy, then who's to say that that energy can't be tied in with the daylight being manifested?
Yeah.
It is very similar to the electric universe concept, except it's not globe-based.
Yeah, so where does the energy come from when, in terms of electricity, right?
It's in the air.
I think I don't really know exactly how electromagnetism works and why it is a force, right? So I think there is a logical explanation on how energy actually works and what the theories are about it. But I can't see how it can produce something like a sun.
Why not? I just gave you an example how electricity can produce light in a very predictable way. Just electricity in air.
Yeah.
You don't need
well, I mean,
material
we basically
for it.
kind of
You don't necessarily need a
right?
lamp. You just need high enough energy.
I mean, when somebody dies, when somebody's, you know, passing out or unconscious or whatever, or they flatline, how do they bring them back? They charge them with electricity. You know, I think electricity has a lot more to do with a lot more shit than we have any idea about.
Absolutely. And more frequencies than the electricity that we deal with our our equipment. It's just a very rough, painful type of electricity, but electricity can manifest in all kinds of levels, has a huge spectrum, all kinds of different properties.
Every time we can observe electricity, it was produced by something material, right? Let's say when you strip the electron out of an atom, you produce electricity by letting these electrons flow through a cable, for example, right? So it always has something to do with material things when it comes to it. Yet the
Oh,
sun.
really? So if there's lightning coming from the sky and you tap into that and you store it and you use that.
Yeah, everything material. I mean, a lightning from in the sky, which I can't really explain to you how it gets produced yet. I think you
It's
can look
supposed
it
to
up,
work
I
through
guess.
friction and everything, but
Yeah.
is that really enough to create that kind of power?
I guess so. I mean,
Is it? I
I
wonder.
think so.
I've never actually seen the calculation for that power induction. They just say the friction must be incredible. Really? So
Yeah.
how are you certain it's there, or are you just deducing it because it has to be because it's that powerful, or is there other energy there also, and the friction is just a minor part?
I don't know about other energy. I mean, as I said, I don't know how lightning really work, how they get created in the sky. So
Well,
I guess
supposedly through
I
friction.
guess maybe I was always just blindly believing the official explanation, which I kinda have a little in my mind. Yet I don't know if friction
Well, I
alone is
know how.
enough.
Yeah, friction is supposed to be causing that. The friction of the material,
Friction
ice, and
alone?
everything just rumbling around. And friction causes static electricity, and then the cloud charges, as it were, and then suddenly the critical mass of energy is reached, and then the spark is exchanged.
So
That's how it's
heavier.
supposed to work.
So like what did they say? Heavier negatively charged particles sink to the bottom of the cloud. When the positive and negative charges grow large enough, a giant spark, lightning, occurs between the two charges within the cloud. So it's like the separation of plus and minus in the cloud itself, where then the lightning gets created. It doesn't only have something to do with friction. It's
Good
friction
point.
is one.
Very good point. That's just another clue again.
Yeah, yet this explanation doesn't. This is another part of why lightning get
Fascinating.
created by this, with a kind of logical explanation of how it behaves in the cloud. So when you
I'm gonna
when
bring
you
this up on my next show. Thanks.
No
This is
problem.
really good. I've never realized that this basically came rolling in automatically, but I've never considered it before. Like, yeah, can just friction in clouds actually electrically create this lightning? Or is there some other energy at play that is contributing to the force of it? This is interesting subject. Also, flat Earth talks worthy, but I'm gonna bring it on the early bird show.
Yeah, I think the drier the air, the less chance there's going to be lightning. Is one. It's attached to it, sort of, but like I think the voltage potential from your head to your toes is about 600 volts, just from that height alone. So when you're up in the air where the clouds are, you're in the hundreds of thousands to millions of volt range. And if the charge just builds up enough in the sky, somehow it'll break down and ionize the water molecules and create a path for the electricity to flow.
Yeah.
But how does it get up there? I mean, any form of light or, well, you can have what I thought it was a clue when I was thinking about it just recently is why do they transmit power at either 50 or 60 hertz? Like, why'd they choose that frequency?
I don't know. Have you tried to look it up?
Hey guys,
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
go. It's been a pleasure. Talk to you later. Maybe see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Flat
All
Earth
right.
Early Bird. It'll be cool. Anytime. See you later.
Have a nice evening.
Yeah, because you can actually put if you put a plate of metal up into the sky, you can generate power from it just by having a piece of metal up there.
Generate power or absorb power?
Well, absorb it. I guess you need a little. It's Tesla did a little circuit where it just got a couple capacitors and 4 diodes, and yeah, people have built it, and you can make power from it just by putting a plate of metal in the sky.
So is it efficient? I mean, I've never heard of people generating power this way for their homes and so.
Yeah, I think if you just use the basic, I'm just putting a piece of metal up there with the minimum things around it and not doing anything else, you might get like 2 or 3 volts.
Oh, yeah.
And whether there's ways to optimize it somehow by like putting a negative charge on the antenna.
Yeah, yet the negative charge would equalize pretty soon, right?
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you're just using the ground, the earth, as your low point for voltage, it's hard to get more than like 2 or 3 volts with the antenna. But possibly if you charge the antenna to negative 100 or 1,000 volts, I'm not sure what how it would be different.
Doesn't it require power to keep something negative, like I mean, when you have like when you look at the battery, that there are the negative and the positive charges, and then you have to keep them divided, right? As soon as then when you charge something negative, as soon as this comes in contact with the atoms and so on, doesn't it become equalized again? Doesn't it become like more positive until it's equal? So
yeah, to continue to draw power out of the sky, what you set up is it's basically 2 capacitors that bounce between each other. So you do have the voltage drop and an equalization, but then because of the EMF around the antenna, it induces a voltage back the other way, and then you have it can be even higher voltage sometimes that you will get coming back at you. And if you collect that and let it equalize again back to negative, then you see you have like a sort of an electric pump.
Yeah. All right. So
I'm going to leave those guys happily chit-chatting away about electricity. As I say, a massive, enormous, huge thank you to all of the audience on my second channel, which is Nathan Oakley. If you're watching this on Nathan Oakley and you're not aware that it's my second channel, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with all the Flat Earth debate pre-show and after-show goodness. Also, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this after-show possible. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!